This session is being recorded. Okay, so apparently it's recording. I've never done that before, but hopefully it looks like it's recording, so it should pan out. Let me quick. Do you want me to run back through the beginning of it just so you can see the full?
Yeah, that was great. Only in the fact that, you know, like I said, I want to be able to push this through and show others as necessary to get this thing off top dead center and get us moving forward.
Okay, well then I'll just close this file real quick, and then you can just see it from the beginning. So if you show someone else, they can see the full process.
Awesome. Appreciate you.
John will
So
stop
John, go ahead, Chuck.
I said John will stop interrupting him so he can show the process as clean and smooth as possible.
Yeah. So John, what I heard you say is y'all wrote a VB routine that took all the parts from your advanced steel part file.
Right. Well, yeah, basically what we did is Advanced Steel has a program called PowerPack, right? So what it did is when we go into our model, so we're in Advanced Steel and I highlight all the parts. And then I go into PowerPack and I say export all of these as a SAT file with a given file name that I defined. And the file name was defined as sort of, and this is part you didn't see, right? So it pulls in the single part number, and then it pulls in the quantity, and then I pulled in the profile name. Okay, the profile name is the part that we have a closed loop on, and it doesn't look like we necessarily need to. So then I hit go. So it basically created all these SAT files with these two-part names, right? So let's get the profile. So now my actual file name for each one was part number underscore quantity. All right. So then we wrote a VB routine and we basically said, okay, go to this folder and you define the folder and you hit go. And then it goes in, it grabs all of those and it breaks out the file name and the quantity. And then I say create assembly. I hit another button and it automatically opens up every part, does a file save as, using the file name is the part name now, and then it takes the quantity and then that's how many times it inserts it into the assembly. So basically it was hands off to the point of that assembly that you have in your hand.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
We
Man, you made that sound pretty easy.
Yeah, it was. I didn't make anything easy. I have people way smarter than me that did that.
It's maybe a 20 or 30 line VB code. It's real simple.
So,
but it looks like it's working out. So
yeah, it worked out really good. So I went back through the first couple steps. After you process the parts, we're going to go to stock list here. It shows the two different material profiles. We'll add one of each in 24-foot sticks. Are you running 24-foot sticks or 21-foot sticks?
It varies.
It varies, but let's just call it 24 for simplicity.
Okay, we'll call it 24. So we'll do 20. Both stock materials, we have infinite quantity, so it'll fill out as many needed to complete the batches. And then we'll close out of there. Autotask does some things in the background to generate the code. We'll click generate here. It'll run through all the different pieces. And then we'll nest them into a stick. So you can see here, this is the first nest with the larger tubes. You have 8 different sticks of material here. You can go through each individual stick and see what they look like, but I'll just go to the first stick and it tells you what pieces are being created in that stick of material, what quantities, and then you can simulate it if you want. I'll try and zoom in on the simulation here. Since they're big pieces, it jumps around.
I'm good with all of that.
But
yeah, we're pretty good with all of that.
Yeah. So.
And these files just come straight into the EMI.
Right. Yeah. Straight into. They'll be generated into a G-code file, and then they can be imported straight into the EMI machine. And they'll all be they'll all be one file that will be generated, and then it'll go through its tube loading routine and then run the next stick and continue through the tube loading routine. So if we jump to the second stick, let me see here. This is the one with the higher quantity pieces.
Yeah, that's a little tiny stuff.
Little tiny stuff. Not
It's all pickets and stuff for the rails.
Yeah. So let's see if the smaller ones are toward the end. But yeah, these are the smaller ones with smaller tubing. So you can see it does give you the ability to set the kerf between pieces, how much scrap,
Right.
and all that. You can see it optimizes nesting with flipping the parts to reduce the amount of drop. You can see right now it's cutting to the outermost of the tube. We'll turn on fourth axis compensation here. It's going to run back through a little bit of the processing, but you'll see when we zoom back in here, it compensates the wall thickness back so that it lays flat with a perpendicular cut. So,
That's what the laser does right now.
Yeah, I can see that on a coat, but on a miter, I guess it is. I don't know. Yeah, so that would be like something. Can you default Sigma Nest to that?
You can default it to a setting that it always defaults to that, and then when you process it, you don't have to go in and click it. So
what is the output of this? I know you got reports. What would that look like?
As far as the actual G code itself?
Well, not the G code because that doesn't make any sense. But isn't there also a parts list or something with report that comes out?
Let me see here.
That would show each part, how many, and I guess that would be kind of something that would go to the, we create it as a PDF, and the guys could pull it up at the machine on a tablet and be able to look at what they're running.
Yeah, hold on one second.
I don't know if that's important to us yet or not. I just was, just watching videos of Sigma Tube and.
Yeah, I would say, I'm trying to think, with how automated you guys are making the process as far as exporting it directly out of your steel package into SolidWorks and nesting large assemblies at one time, we do have the ability to scribe the part numbers based on the file name that is exported out of SigmaTube. That would...
because that's going to be...
That's what we're going to do, and we are getting the
organization of the pieces as they're coming off the machine is a crucial part of the whole process.
Oh, absolutely.
As you know...
That's why we're going to pay for the scriber, too.
Yeah. So I would say that would be the simplest way for you guys to manage part numbering the pieces as they come off the machine to eliminate labor and so forth. But there is a.
I guess I'm looking for more of a bill of materials, right? So our flow is going to be right. Engineering creates this. At some point, I think in engineering, we're still trying to work this out, or in production control, they'll do the nesting, and then they're going to take the result of that nest and put it into our MRP to drive demand for the material. Okay. So. Is there like a report that says, okay, yeah, I can obviously see that I'm going to need 28 lengths of, whatever that bottom material is, and I'm going to need 8 lengths of the other one, unless it's, I know in some of our current, like ProNest right now in our flat plasma, it may only show 3 nests, but you may have to run one of them 10 times, right? Yeah. So I always just ran a report, and it would tell me how many sheets you need, stuff like that.
Yeah, there is a way to generate a report. I need to look into see how exactly a multi-stick report is generated. But on the side here, it doesn't run any kind of like subroutine. It nests all of the sticks into one program. So pretty much one program would run all the tubes through the process. It would burn the entire tube off. It would run the machine through an auto load cycle, retract it, and continue until it gets to all 8 sticks of material. So you can see here, it says exactly how many tubes of material it's going to require to burn off a given assembly. I can look in a little further to see whether there's an actual report you can print off that tells you on like a assembly by assembly basis for how many sticks of material will be required for that given nest. But I haven't generated one of those before, so I'll look into that and see if there's something that can be generated and print it out.
I'm sure it is.
It's probably like the most common use for this anyway.
Yeah, we'll
it's got to be in there somewhere.
Yeah, we'll take that up. We'll take that up with Anthony. I think this is that's a no-brainer, right? So, and I'm pretty sure I've seen it, and so don't trouble yourself with that part. Because I know it's able to kick it out the MRP, you know what I mean, or ERP system. So I know it's in there. It's just wondering if you knew how to click it and do it. But no, you've got us where we needed to be today.
Sounds good.
And so this is probably the more difficult of the two with the dissimilar materials as far as size. Chuck, you wanted one. Somebody asked me for one more if I could give maybe with different profile types.
Yeah,
I think Todd was asking just to play around, just for your own edification, to make sure you guys didn't just get lucky.
Yeah. The other parts you had, which weren't a assembly, were square tubing. I can quick go through that. Importing them is not quite as smooth because you kind of have to insert them all into the assembly. But let me.
Both of them we sent had the assembly included.
Okay, well then maybe I just didn't find it properly. Let me look at the bottom and see. Maybe I overlooked the assembly. Okay, we'll get out of that. Downloads. Oh yeah, here we go.
That assembly was a little bit more bizarre because it kind of stuck parts way out in space.
Yeah, I opened one of them and I'm like, okay, where's the piece? And it was like floating off in left field, but it was fine. So similar process with a Sigma tube. Let me quick hit save. We'll reset.
So basically, that save is not the assembly; it's a Sigma tube save.
It makes you save. It's pretty much the same save in both locations, but this assembly, since it's collecting all the pieces, since it was collecting all the pieces from like a zipped file, it wants you to save it again. And maybe you guys it might have saved it as an older format of SolidWorks. So
right.
2017. So if there's like a year difference, it'll make you save before it'll generate. So
can you scooch over a little bit so we can see the material call out on that one?
Yeah. Let me pull that over. Is it one size material? No, of course.
Yeah, that's the exciting part for us, is because that was one of my big concerns, is how did it identify what the material was, because I was dreading the part of having to pull that material and figure out where to put it in SolidWorks and all that.
Yeah.
We're solid.
You know, typical software has its bugs once in a while.
Yeah, you ought to be sitting at my desk right now. I've been having, we just added Bluebeam, which is a really, really nice PDF viewer. And we have to manage a lot of documents, and they loaded that on my machine, and it's been crashing. So they're telling me, oh, you may have to get a new machine, and I hate getting new computers, man.
So let me pull this back in. Okay, so we got that. Let's quick save it. To reset all, yes. Now let me just scroll over here.
Mm-hmm.
It's calling out the profile as freeform right now. And I don't know exactly why it's described in here as freeform. So I'll look into that. But normally inside of SolidWorks, a lot of the profiles are called out in their Weldment profiles, which is like a standard library of structural members. So maybe if it's slightly different dimensions, it's seeing it a little bit differently. Let me just.
Yeah, and that's one of the things I gotta, because that's a standard 1.5 by 1.5 by 3/16.
Okay.
So.
That's not in their toolbox.
And
That's
what?
not in SolidWorks toolbox.
Oh, I had to add it.
You made that 1.5 inches. That's why it's not
Right.
recognizing that as
Okay. Because if
Amplifier.
it's not named the same way in the toolbox, it probably views it differently.
Yeah, you see, I've had to create some weldment profiles in my advanced steel.
Yeah.
I mean, in my SolidWorks, because it's just not an available option in SolidWorks' profiles.
We have a fair.
Some of that I have created. Chuck's right, so that's probably it, which is easy enough to do.
Yeah. So
If that's the case, that'd be good to test. So
we'll go through the same process.
I can,
Inside of here, then it finds the material, even if it's not in the standard library. You can see here 1.5 by 1.5, 3/8 radius, 3/16 wall. So we'll add that material.
So it identified it automatically?
Yeah, it automatically identifies the material. It's just sometimes in the original generation,
Okay.
doesn't see what material it is. We'll go auto task, generate the profiles real quick. Just want to make sure this thing's not gonna do something weird. So it generates it into 7 sticks of material, just like before. Here we can zoom in. Let me slow it down a little bit.
I haven't had but one cup of coffee today. Nice.
So, and the same thing goes for here. I don't have it set in the default, but it compensates the walls back.
Right.
So if we zoom in here as it's cutting this profile. Come on. You'll see when it goes around that edge,
Yep.
it compensates it back. So
Beautiful. All right. I'm a happy camper, man.
cool.
If we can get that copy of whatever record you did.
Yeah, I
Really
probably won't be able to email it to you. I'll put it in like a Dropbox or like a shared folder, and then you can download it because I'm sure it'll be
Absolutely.
so.
Massive. I appreciate that very much.
Sounds good. Any other?
One
All right,
step,
guys.
one step closer, right?
Yep.
Yeah, that is a big hurdle. That's pretty exciting that y'all been able to accomplish that. That is, that's going to be helpful for everybody. Now that we know that it will be done, we'll just tell people, it can be done. You just got to apply the resources to it.
Yeah. And an amazing part, it was, like I say, the guy wrote that up in 15, 20 minutes.
Oh my
So it's
gosh.
not complicated at all. So, I mean, for me, it would be a month. But if you know what you're doing, I guess it makes a big difference.
Somebody that's got the talent. Now that look. If he can do it in 15 minutes, it doesn't seem to be. He can do that. He's got skills, or she's got skills.
Yep. But yep. Looks like we're good, baby.
Okay. Sounds good.
Chuck, do you have any questions about the? Did we finalize the material usage or the material size that y'all wanted to use, and was just the adjustable chuck that comes with the machine was probably going to give you a great start?
Yeah, I think there was one set of jaws that I wanted to have on hand. I reduced some of those that were, on my first list.
Yeah.
Kenny's got I think Kenny's got the PO ready to issue to you.
Yeah. Primarily just the rectangular materials that require additional jaw sets. So
Yeah.
pretty much the full range is covered under the base jaw set for round and square. So yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, it was the 1x2 rectangular tube.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that was it. Anything smaller than that, I actually realized later that, yeah, while we did build rails like that, they were all probably bar. So it wouldn't have helped anyway.
You know, the other thing that I was thinking about this morning is I would wonder if just a second, just standard adjustable puck would be helpful. And that way, you know, when you did get ready to go, you know, change material sizes would, you know, having that already ready over to the side, you know, would make the changeover, you know, real quick, obviously.
Because our two common ones are the round and the square, an inch and a half, right? Inch and a quarter.
Right.
140
right.
and inch and a half. And I may come at you in a week and say, you know what? Can you guys send me another one?
Yeah.
I'm sure we can make that happen.
Yeah.
We could do
that way when
with the original PO, you get the depreciated for 10 years.
Shut up,
right.
Asshole. Complicate this further.
Yeah. My job.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
We'll talk to Kenny about it, but we don't know the ship to yet, or location yet, no, either. So.
All right. That's all right. All right, guys. Well, that's great news. I'm glad. Max, thank you for your help, and we'll be standing by when we're needed. Next.
Sounds good. You guys have a good day.
All right.
All right,
Thank you very much.